And we are live, folks. Welcome to my channel, Run Unchained. We're talking the Acolyte teaser today. So if you haven't seen the teaser, go watch it right now as soon as possible. Come back and hang out with us for just a little bit. We're going to be geeking out about what this show teased up for us and what's to come. I'm your host, Ronan Unchained, and I'm here with Busy Braun. Busy, the Acolyte teaser has dropped, hermano.
Dude.
This thing came out, in my opinion. A lot of people may not agree with it, but it came out swinging with
Oh
potentiality,
my God,
dude.
yes,
How
yes,
do you
and
feel about it?
I think you're 100% right with that, man, and it's like, unfortunately, there's a lot of negativity about the last couple projects that we've had,
Yeah,
Star Wars-wise, and I can back some of it. I, unfortunately, haven't been too pleased with some stuff, but then there's been a lot that I have been pleased with. So going into the Acolyte, I really wanted, this teaser to kind of build hype and not make us think it's just gonna be a repeat of some of the other stuff that we've gotten. 'Cause, I love it, but unfortunately, I'm tired of, like, a lot of people complaining. It gets really repetitive, but here, I don't think there's too much to complain about. It really, like, got me excited for what's to come, and I really want the show to be as good as the trailer was. I mean, the last, few seconds of this teaser was, oh my god, it was
hmm
beautiful. It was beautiful. It gave me, like, those old, school game cinematic, vibes for what was it? Knights of the Republic? In that am I tripping?
yeah.
But, just to see them all at the end and then all the lightsabers igniting side by oh my god, that shit literally had me going crazy, bro. And it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, bro. I have been waiting for them to drop something official for this. And again, I don't take it for granted how lucky I am that I was. And you saw me. We did a video over there. I was in London. And
Oh, you got to see this, right? Didn't you?
so this was initially shown to us, at
Yep.
least 99% of it was shown to us at Celebration in London last year.
Because I remember the like when it was leaked. So I saw a portion. The only thing that I think I saw was the fight with I'm gonna keep calling her this, but Trinity and
It's Carrie-Anne Moss.
the Sith, when we see them two going
Yeah,
at it.
with the
That was
knife.
the only thing that I remember that was leaked. I don't know, did they show the scene where the lightsabers were all ignited at the end?
So I think it's fair to say now, that scene where all the lightsabers ignited, they showed us, but they didn't show that there was something else they were encountering. They just showed us that they lit up the lightsabers from the front point of
Oh,
view
so it
of.
didn't show oh from the front?
Yeah, it
Oh, that
didn't.
must have been so cool.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't show us any red. It didn't show us a red lightsaber, a red mist, or
So it
whatnot.
didn't show them throwing the saber at all.
No,
Oh
as I
my god,
recall,
that is dude.
if you're a fan, if you were there at Celebration in London, post your comments down below. Let me know if I am wrong. I could be wrong. It's been over a year, but I'm pretty sure that like that wasn't kept. That was very kept hidden and whatnot.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, dude, we have with this unique cast. We have Lee Jung-Jae from Squid Game fame. We have Daphne
Oh,
Keene,
wow.
X-23, and also his Dark Materials. We have Jodie Turner-Smith, who I think she was in that movie Queen and Slim, I think.
Oh,
We have Carrie-Anne Moss.
wow,
Uh,
this is a cast.
mhm. And
The
I
dude at
believe,
the dude at the bottom left, he was in, he was in Arrow for a little bit. I know he was in other stuff, but
really,
yeah, I know he was in Arrow. He played, the new Deathstroke. He played, Diggle's son.
what?
And oh, is that Daphne Keene? What?
Yeah, yeah, bro.
Dude. And then Manny Jacinto, I think I said that. Hopefully I said that right. He's in The Good Place, and he's amazing in The Good Place.
Okay.
Wow, what a
So
cast, bro.
I think this is unique in all aspects. And the one thing that I told you, and I think I told our friend Chainsaw from the get go, was that like the thing as I was in the rooms hearing the panel and then the footage was that Leslye Headland, the head writer, she said that the pitch, because after Russian Doll, which she did, and was a big thing that people saw on Netflix, she's like, I want to go pitch at Lucasfilm. That's where I want to be. And she said, my elevator pitch was Frozen meets Kill Bill.
Okay.
I heard that the minute I heard that, I was like, I'm in. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know how that's gonna be, but that's a hell of a pitch, hell of a hook. And I'm like, I wanted to watch that. And dude, and I've been telling my friends the kung fu vibes with that shot with Carrie-Anne Moss doing this and
Oh my
pushing
god.
back. I I am just hoping to God. I'm like, please, your fight scenes, they should be just as good as what we've gotten in Ahsoka, if not better. And they should be don't not cutaways. Just do the long shots, widescreen, pull out, move forward, and I want all that kung fu vibes, dude. I I don't know, dude. Like to me, everybody's flipping out, but just when you see Carrie Ann Moss in that role, you're like, oh shit, she's a Jedi Master, and a lot of people didn't know that, which is kind of cool. That like they didn't know she was in it, and she's doing her Force stuff and whatnot. She's built up more. She's put in no more credit to her street nerd credit, in my opinion. I think between Matrix, Jessica Jones,
Hmm.
she looks like a badass dude. How do you feel about Carrie Ann Moss joining Star Wars?
So I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Honestly, I didn't even know she was in this. I honest to God did not know she was in this. So to see her kind of come out of nowhere and to be able to be like, wait a second, that's who I think it is. And of course, a lot of people know her from The Matrix. A lot of people know her from Jessica Jones. But I mean, it's going to be really cool for people to also see her in something else here. You know, she's got like the trinity, if you will, of like she's all over the place. I mean, we got her in the Matrix, we got her in the Marvel universe, we got her, which is now the MCU, and now we got her in Star Wars. And it would off topic, but I'd love to see her return in Born Again, just to have her back in the picture. So
Yeah.
we can hope. But I'm truly excited to see more of her. She's a phenomenal actress, and it's definitely good news for Star Wars fans when it comes to like just seeing talented actors on screen, because she is definitely one of them.
I agree. Seeing, I believe Ling Jung Jae, seeing him talking about that thing that Obi Wan taught Luke about, like your eyes can deceive you. We must not trust them. That I'm telling you, dude, the
Bro,
mysticism,
I did
this
not
vibe,
recognize him, bro.
bro. And I'm just giddy about it. And again, I want to make it clear, and I think you said it best, that the show may not deliver. The show may not deliver, but from what we got from this teaser, it looks promising. I hearken it to what I love about Andor and what I dug about Ahsoka, and just mixing the both and be like, it's very Sith Jedi centric. It's a mystery procedure, if you will, and it's got that grounded level. And as far as what Leslye Headland has told us, is that they didn't really use volume. All
Okay,
this is mostly location or like sets designs, which I'm like, I love. And
that's
I
always good to
respect and I
hear.
love the volume, but dude, you can feel all those people, all those background characters. You can feel the locations in this teaser.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man. And then we see what's her Amanda Stenberg as, I think, the character that's fighting Karen Moss's Jedi Master. I So this is a wild theory, and I could be 100% wrong, and I'm not gonna lose sleep. She's right here in
Hmm.
this like island, cliffs and whatnot, and it's that one shot where we see a dark figure where we're all like, "Who's that? Is that Darth Plagueis? Is that Palpatine? Is that Darth Revan?" I'm willing to bet that's the same island where Luke was in Last
That's
Jedi.
kind of that's kind of what it looked like. It
Yeah,
did. It did. I was honestly gonna say that for some reason I couldn't think of the name. The only name that was coming to me was Zepho, and I'm like, that's not right. But like, honestly, like, I'm really excited to see. I know we can't really be excited for cameos. You don't want to rely on that. But what
yeah.
are the chances that we see Yoda?
I think it
I
should
want
be.
to see a Prime Yoda. I do.
It should be. How do I say this? It should be Prime Yoda, but it shouldn't be for too long.
Oh,
His
100% no.
you should know he's there. Maybe
Yes.
see him for like a shot or two, but I don't think if you rely him a lot on these episodes, which we're only getting like a handful of, then I feel you're starting to lean into that stuff. And again, he should be there. It's 100 years before Phantom Menace,
Yeah.
but he shouldn't be one of your most your grab thing to grab on. Although newcomer fans might need that. Just be like, where's this from? Where does this
And
takes place?
and Revan wouldn't be in this. I mean, this is far after he died.
True, but what I liked about the Clone Wars is that even though he's not there in the living
Oh,
form,
okay. Okay.
his presence could be felt. There's
Okay.
literally, and I'm not trying to spoil it, all the details, but there's literally an episode of the Clone Wars where like almost Yoda goes on an LSD
Oh,
trip
yeah.
and he pops up, voiced by Mark Hamill. He pops up and talking to him about like what Yoda's afraid of and what the place he's at right now and what that symbolizes.
What's
So
crazy is I don't remember that at all. That's crazy.
really,
I gotta
yeah,
go back and check that out.
yeah, it's a unique place and whatnot.
Oh, it's a
Uh,
deleted scene, right?
I believe, yes, I believe so. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That makes sense.
And speaking of cameos and what that place, this show might offer, there's this one shot, very fuzzy one night. You can see a group of Jedi. Is there anybody in there that may look familiar to you from the prequels eras, dude? I want to see if you can catch it. Again, I could
No.
be 100% wrong.
I can't see the front of the faces, so it's
No.
we could be wrong.
Okay.
And the chances of that being Plo Koon.
I literally zoom in and I'm like, is that who I think it is?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Really?
No, I mean I would love for it to be. I mean, I know Plo Koon is an old dude, so he would be around. He would definitely be around during this time.
Yeah.
But the chances, I don't know. I definitely don't want to I don't want to hold my breath and expect to see all these familiar faces as
Yeah.
much as I would love it. At the end of the day, I'm just not trying to get my hopes up. But again, if we do see Plo Koon pop up in the Acolyte, if we see Yoda pop up, whatever it is, I'd be satisfied. But again, I am not trying my best to get my hopes up. It's gonna put me in a whole different, kind of mood when it comes to the show. I don't want to get disappointed.
I understand that.
But yes, I want it to be him.
But somebody I won't be disappointed seeing is Daphne King in a Jedi robe, dude.
I did not recognize her. Look at her. Oh my god.
Neither did I
She's
initially.
not even human here, is she?
No. So if you
Oh
go back on my
wow.
reaction, I was
She
like,
is
I don't think
no, she's not Zabrak, right?
no. So in my reaction, I was like, I didn't see Daphne King, and then I edited, put it up, and then I go back. I'm like, oh shit, that's Daphne
Yeah.
King. What the hell?
Dude, I had
I
to go to
zoom-
work, so I burned through editing. I did not recognize her, not even a little bit.
So from what there's been gathered, because Leslye Headland had like done interviews for like magazines and whatnot, talking about the teaser and what the show might provide info on. Star Wars Holocron has reported, I guess, from just details, is that Daphne King's character, his name is Jeki, and she is a Thelan. Now that race character is of that one dancer in Jabba's palace that like
Okay.
Boba has like a thing for, has like orange spike hair and whatnot.
She wasn't the blue girl, right?
She was more or less blue girl with like red dots on her chest and whatnot.
Okay.
So yeah,
Mhm.
that's the same species as far as we're going with gathering
Okay.
information. Yeah, and I think Leslye said she made her that creature because she loved that character from Return of the Jedi. And I'm like, what a cool thing to be like.
Yeah,
It's
for
a
sure.
background character to be like, let's pull that species and put it to the forefront as a Padawan learner for Jung-Jae's Soul's character.
Mhm.
I I want them to, no pun intended, not be afraid to go maybe at a mature level with the themes and with the leading process of this show. Because from what I've been hearing is that it harkens back to a lot of the kung fu movie, the samurai movies, and there's a specific movie that Leslye Headland had used as reference, which was Rashomon.
Okay.
Now, it's a famous film, Japanese film, because it's a samurai film, but it covers the story from different points of views. Famously, as far as I know and what I've heard, is that Ryan Johnson did a similar thing concerning Luke's backstory of like why did why did Ben Solo turn to the dark side? It was the Rashomon effect of different points of views. She said that she's gonna probably articulate or use that form to telling the stories of like, okay, why is there conflict in this time period after a peaceful era of the High Republic, and this is coming off the end of it? Why is now the why is there darkness happening? And we're gonna
Mhm.
see it from the dark side user's point of view and from the light side user's point of view. Um, I would not be surprised if we start seeing like the cracks, big ass cracks of why the Jedi fell during the prequels eras, why they quickly became, I don't even want to use the term celibate, or if they became so like be like it's this way, there's no other way and whatnot, and why someone like Qui-Gon Jinn would offshoot from the council and whatnot. So I'm very intrigued to see we start seeing the cracks even at this point. Again, it's 100 years, it's a century, but
Mhm.
how much will we see? Okay, we could see why the shit went down the way it did and why they fell as a organization. Is there something that you specifically want out of this show besides a being good entertainment? Is there like, do you want long take lightsaber shots? I mean, I've never asked
Man,
you this. Are you more of like the Rebels Empire stuff, or are you more of the Jedi stuff, or
more of the
both? I
Jedi
guess.
stuff. The
Yeah,
Jedi stuff is 100% what I fell in love with as a Star Wars fan, and as much as I loved here and there, just seeing bounty hunters and all that stuff. I mean, it just, and again, this sounds probably really like foolish of me, but when I think of Star Wars, I think of the Jedi, I think of lightsabers, I think of all that stuff, the Force. So when we see like a lot of these shows that kind of exclude that, it doesn't make it any less Star Wars, obviously, but for me, it just makes it a little less, exciting. For me, I instantly get excited. Just this is just an opinion, obviously, but instantly get excited when a lightsaber is ignited, when we see stuff like that. And recently I feel like with some of the lightsaber duels, they haven't been as great as I kind of feel like they can be. And when it comes down to the choreography, I think that I, especially during this era, they need to nail it. They need to get it right because obviously it was so much different the way some of the dueling was compared to like what we saw later on because of just the way things were like training wise and all that stuff. So I really want to see some hardcore cool fights and I don't know. I'm really excited for it. I really am.
I agree. I think that having this time period gives leeway where you can do so much stuff with characters we don't know. When you put the difference between what we know of, the Skywalker saga or,
Mhm.
the sequels, prequels, original trilogy, it's a fine line of time period where you can do what you want that we don't know of, unless you're an EU fan, which to her credit, Leslye Headland said that there's a lot of stuff there that we're not beholden to. But if you're an EU fan, if you're a prequel fan, if you're a Clone Wars fan or an OG fan, you're gonna see stuff parking there if you keep an eye out for. And I don't know how you feel about this. I read an article from one of the magazines saying that she went out of her way to bring a writer into the writers' room that wasn't a Star Wars fan, but
Okay.
to give us
Like a
a
good writing experience.
construction of like consequence where we didn't have to rely on Easter eggs or
That's
cameos
cool. I like
to
that.
insinuate like an emotional stuff and whatnot.
That's really good.
So yeah, I am very. How do you feel about that? I think
I think
we
that's
need more
so
of that.
necessary. I mean, although it's really important to have fans there, like I can't stress that enough. To have fans involved with a project like that, it's super, super important.
Hmm.
Because I don't know, it's important. But to have people there who are kind of on a neutral ground and are there not just for the fan service but for overall good storytelling is something I feel like we don't have a lot of because there
Yeah.
has been a lot of times where we get like these shows and the fan service is there and they try hard with the fan service but the storytelling isn't always what it is, what it's capable of, what it where it's what's the right word,
Where it can go forth.
potential
Yes.
is, and it's like I know that some of these shows can be so much better, but unfortunately the writing just isn't there. So I know, having somebody there that specializes in the writing and isn't there for fan service, but is there for, just good entertainment can be the difference between a good television show and
Hmm.
another flop. So I am truly looking forward or I have hope for how this might play out.
Okay, I like that. Speaking of fans, Hero's Journey, who saw Busy was here. Hello, Hero's Journey. Thanks for
Hey, what's
joining the
up,
live
dude?
stream. So, is the show a mystery type? Yes. For what we've gathered, is that 100 years before the Phantom Menace, there's peace. era of peace. There's not much war going on. It just at that point, I think from what they had pitched for the High Republic is that the Jedi are more like the Rangers of the galaxy, where they're just in different locations throughout the whole galaxy or galaxies, if you will, making sure no trouble is being made and they're just keeping the peace.
Yep.
Before they became soldiers. And what I liked that this show said was just like someone is killing Jedis one by one, and we don't know why. Why is that happening? Why is there this consequential events happening that can't? And who knows? So what I liked about it is I'm waiting for someone to say just a coincidence. It's not really. There's no connection between these killings. When somebody be like, I don't know. For years we've fought to keep some semblance of order. Oh boy. In this galaxy, why is now someone trying to shake the tree for it? So that's what we know this far of the show, and that the show will be getting points of views from everybody. It won't be just one-sided Jedi story. It'll be from dark side users, Sith users, if you will, being like, all right, how do we see the coming of darkness and the fall of the light?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Oh, that's another. Oh, let's see. Is it the start of a verse? For example, the Mandoverse.
I wouldn't say so. This is the overall. It's not connected to that specifically, but it's connected to the overall Star Wars universe, obviously. Which is, same thing with the Mandalorian, but we're not going to expect any crossovers. That's not how it's going to be. It's just obviously contained in one single universe, but do not expect any crossovers.
Yeah, what I could say more or less is that the only connections this show might have is to the politics side of it. To be like, okay, in the Mandoverse, how are they dealing that they've beaten the Empire, the Revolutionary was one. Now, how are they handling the win? How are they handling the aftermath of like 20 years of Imperial reign? And people might think it's taboo. I don't give a shit, but I think they should do that for Acolyte, where it's just like, okay, what happens when there's a time of peace and someone's rocking the boat, and why are they rocking the boat? Is it justifiable that they're rocking the boat? Yeah, I always say that I grew up with the prequels, and I liked the movies. I missed the critiques and hate that those movies got. And I was like, I like them. They're not as good as the original trilogy for me, but I like them. And then it wasn't until I saw the Clone Wars, and I've always loved Revenge of the Sith. Always loved it. I always thought that was the peak of that trilogy. But when Clone Wars dropped, and when I finally got to the Clone Wars, it opened the canvas of what you can do. There's literally a zombie episode in the Clone Wars with the Geonosians. There's literally an episode of Notorious, a Hitchcock thriller from the back in the 60s or 50s. There's literally an episode about a kaiju, about 2-3 episodes of a kaiju. So it's like you can do so many different things with this universe in any time period. It's just how you use it and how you present it to people and not. I feel that I love the Mando, specifically season 1 and 2, and I really, really dug Ahsoka. I think the best things we've gotten consistently are the animated series from Rebels, Clone Wars, Rebels, final season of Clone Wars, Tales of the Jedi, Bad Batch. Consistently, they've been the best. I think that this universe, although it's been with us for 50 years, almost 50 years now, that we've just scratched the surface on a live action point of view. I think there's so much more you can do that. And people think you shouldn't go back to the EU one up. I'm like, look at the EU. Between Return of the Jedi and Phantom Menace, there was 20 years where no movie was being made. You had to rely on the Ewok home to video movies, I think, or maybe they're in theaters, and comics and graphic novels and novels themselves. I'm like, go back and look at the material. There's so much that you can pull from and yet interpret it, where you can be like, all right, any hardcore fans for the past, come back, hang out with us. We brought some stuff that you're made familiar with it. And if you're not a fan, see what you could do with this, which is why I always said that like Mando is a perfect entry to anybody who's never seen Star Wars. And I can say the same thing about Andor, where it's like, okay, for example, someone who may not be into the whole lightsaber thing and the whole Force, which I'm like, it's space science. I'm like, okay, there's the fascist reign and political thrillers that Andor provides us, where it's like, all right, you can spend time 3 episodes with side characters that would never get any attention in the movie and see how they feel about this. Are they seeing the future, whatnot? Will these characters in the Acolyte be seeing how do we feel about the Jedi going forward, or the Sith being like, is this the right way to approach disturbing the peace, if you will, or revealing the face of hypocrisy? Again, Busy, I never asked you this before, but do you think that there's so much potential with Star Wars still that it just that the reason people might be off put by it, and we have friends who who might be off put it, that it's just the reason why is because we're getting so much on a regular basis? Because again, this show was announced 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, and that was during the time where we were getting spoon fed left and right.
Mm-hmm.
And no, yeah, I mean, there's definitely been. It's felt like quantity over quality, on different occasions, and that's just not like that for Star Wars. It's felt like that for the MCU as well. And I think taking a break, slowing down is absolutely necessary. Although it does suck because I mean I love having the Star Wars content left and right.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the hype just makes it more. Makes it exciting. Makes it exciting. Jeez, I can't talk once it's finally here. So it's like I'm really excited for it, but I'm glad that it's kind of ways away. There's still hype to be built around it, but it just needs to make sure it works out. And again, having the quality over quantity allows these shows to have a bigger budget, allows them to look nicer, and I really hope that works out. I really do.
I agree. Hero Jay has another comment. Imagine if the Acolytes visit Plo Koon planet. You never know. And again, what I reiterate about this time period is that there's so many other planets besides Tatooine, Endor, Hoth. Besides those main three, or even oh my gosh, I feel like an idiot right now. My brain farted right now. Mustafar. Besides those four, or even Coruscant, there's so much more that we haven't seen yet, and just to spend time there, see what kicks out of that time period, and what that side of the galaxy can give you in terms of 8 episodes, 10 episode stories and whatnot. So sky's the limit. And Leslye Headland say that you might recognize some stuff, but also we're introducing species that haven't been canon yet. So I'm like, all right, open the door, because I know a lot of complaints about the most recent projects of Star Wars in big screen was that a lot of stuff seemed too familiar and whatnot. It didn't seem to evolve from where we started in the originals, where we took back the prequels, and where we're going forward or not. So I'm like, all right, if you're going even further back behind the prequels, show us something we haven't seen yet that we won't spot or be too familiar with when we see Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones yet. So I feel that sky's the limit, and it's all about how you execute it and how you present it and when you present it. Because again, like Busy said, that the bombardment is where it shows where something will hold the test of time, or something to be like, it was a cool weekend thing. It was a cool thing to watch for a month or two. But yeah, folks, we're gonna have to wrap up. Busy and I have a lot of stuff cooking. I think I can say that for both of us. But Busy, hermano, thank you so much for joining me, geeking out about Acolyte for a little bit. Tell folks where people can find you.
Find me at Busy Braun everywhere. Busy Reactions on Instagram. And yeah, I'm really excited to just start posting more content. We got a lot of reactions cooking, a lot of reviews, and I'm excited to just continue doing what we're doing.
Nice. Yeah, you could subscribe to my channel, check out more coverage. You'll be definitely getting coverage of this show. What can I tease for tonight? Let's just say that by midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning the next day, expect a lot of videos coming on my channel. And you may or may not see this full in some of these videos, whatnot, and us freaking out about stuff will be dropping. So stay tuned. Follow both our channels. I will grow this man. I want to see this man's YouTube button on a plaque. I want to see that up on his shelves and whatnot. Congrats on the recent 28,000, my friend.
Appreciate it, bro.
And yeah, Leslye Headland, you had our curiosity. Now you have our attention. Please deliver a good show, and I have faith that it will. So to everybody out there, may the force be with you.